on how to find a job in STEMs. Please, Mihaela.
Thank you, Firuz, and welcome everyone. As I mentioned in my introductory speech, my name is Mihaela and I come from Moldova. It is a country situated between Romania and Ukraine. And I am leading Tekedu, an organization that has the goal to inspire more girls and women to join opportunities in ICT and STEM, both as opportunities in education and career. And today, together with my colleague speaker, we will try to, Ruxana, I'm honored to be part of the same breakout room with you today. We will try to cover a broader topic regarding how to access opportunities in ICT and STEM. The logic behind our presentations today is that I will try to make an introduction, and I will try to invite you to have a very friendly conversation on the context that we are in as girls and women trying to access opportunities in ICT and STEM. I will present some findings and some food for thought from Moldova, and I'm really interested and very curious to know if you have and face the same realities in your countries, if you find yourselves in the same factors that influence your decisions, and if you actually decided or not yet where you are headed as education and career. Also, I would like to welcome, and I'm happy that we have in our breakout room two of our Girls Go IT program ambassadors from Moldova, two of my fellow colleagues. And I hope they can also share some insightful tips today when we have our conversation. Hello, Ariana. Hello, Mihaela. Yes, a Girls Go IT program has been launched in 2015. And since then, we dedicated our work to inspire more girls and women to join ICT and STEM opportunities. And we try to do so by an education program, by courses that we do in several fields, like web programming, like prototyping, 3D prototyping and printing, Arduino and electronics. We basically try and bring the opportunity for girls to test, to try the beauty of ICT sector and then decide if it's a sector for them. About me, I am not an IT person per se. My background is in finance and banking. But then I am an example, a living example of a person who can work in project management and management in ICT. Therefore, as a food for thought and also an invitation for you to think is that ICT and STEM is actually a quite broad sector that could help you join the field in many other ways possible, more than maybe you can imagine today. The food for thought that I promised that I'll bring today, we analyzed, we were very curious about the context of girls and women in Moldova particularly. I will present the main findings that we had from a study that we conducted in Moldova, but I would like us to have it as a conversation later on. I'm very curious to know about the realities in your respective countries. So the main findings that we had within our study is that, first of all, girls usually make the decision regarding their career during general school, and very few make that decision during admission to university stage, which means to us is that this is a decision that we think of ahead. We take enough time to consider the decision, and then we are strong enough to stick to the decision, although there could be influences from other stakeholders or from the exterior. In Moldova, which was very interesting for us to find out, in Moldova, girls choose as top sectors for their career and education, beauty sector, public alimentation sector, and economy. Why beauty? It was interesting for me to find out that in Moldova, girls perceive beauty sector as one of the best paid sectors. A question that I will later address to you in our conversation is if those sectors are popular or not in your countries, and what are the popular sectors for girls in your countries. It was interesting for us to find out that girls do not know that ICT sector is one of the best paid sectors. So a lack of information here and a lack of understanding of the opportunities ICT sector drives and brings is also one of the factors that we are working with. Regarding who influences the decisions for education and career in Moldova, it was interesting to discover that 40% of the girls that we interviewed, and we interviewed around 1,000 girls in Moldova, 40% of them think, although they liked informatics in school, they think that ICT is not a sector for girls, which was very interesting. A bit concerning finding that we had is that the stereotypes and the misunderstanding that ICT and STEM are sectors specifically or in majority for men and boys, those stereotypes are so deep impregnated in the mindset that even girls themselves fear to access those opportunities, considering that it's not necessarily a sector suitable or viable for their career. So this was, again, food for thought for us, and I want to share it and make it a food for thought for you today. Interesting is that from the 1,000 girls that we interviewed, the girls who already took the decision to work and study in ICT had their main reasons. First of all, the passion for the field. And again, I think everyone will agree how important it is to really do what you love and love what you do. The second one was the knowledge that it is a very well-paid sector. And another main factor of why girls choose ICT for their careers is that it provides a very broad opportunity to travel, because you can work remotely. And I think for girls and women, this is specifically in a particular a very good reason and a very good opportunity. And some of the girls were influenced positively by members of their families who are already in ICT and STEM, and by their teachers. And again, here I would like to point out and also ask you, how do you feel in your respective realities? What are the influences of families and teachers while accessing opportunities? We know how important it is at some point in life to have a mentor, at least one, a mentor to inspire you and to help you, to guide you through as a coach through your career. And another very interesting point we discovered in our study is that all girls interviewed by us mentioned how important are NGOs and social projects in making girls and helping them choose a career. And it's interesting that, well, together with the formal education, who not necessarily is always very favorable for girls in ICT and STEM, the role of non-formal education project is major. And you've seen that the majority of the speakers today are in several roles as mentors, trainers, or managers of non-formal education projects for girls. And I think I would also very curious to know who of you are participants of such projects, whether you think that they have a key role or not. And last but not least, the main barriers that we face here in Moldova, the girls face here in Moldova, while accessing opportunities in ICT and STEM, are lack of knowledge of English, are the stereotypes existing in ICT, and it is still considered a sector more suitable for men and boys, and a general barrier, which is fear to fail. So those three are the main barriers that we discovered through the study we run. That will be my short presentation. I'm really looking forward to have a conversation at the end with you, have your questions answered. Hopefully you'll find the answers today. And I'm also very interested to know whether the motivations and barriers that I presented today, common for Moldova, are common for your countries or for the communities that you are coming from. Thank you, and Firuz, over to you.
Thank you, Mihaela. Indeed, this was very good insight into the tips. Let me remind you and all colleagues just that this topic we are talking about is how to find a job in STEM, or that colleagues please share what are the practical tips on how to find and apply for an internship with STEM. What about the gender barriers and stereotypes, and advise how to continue careers in STEM for women. Now, let me introduce Rukhshona Jamulova, who will be talking on Tajikistan and her experience. The floor is yours, Rukhshona. After that, we'll be having some Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Once again, my name is Rukhshana, and I'm from Tajikistan. And as a girl who grew up in remote areas and rural area, I can totally say that, especially for girls, being in the field of STEM is difficult, and knowing about technologies or others professional ICT or STEM is far from these girls because they don't have access. As a person, in my personal experience, I know we were far from this direct or correct information about this field because of stereotypes. Especially when I wanted to use only a computer, it was stereotypes that girls cannot use. It's only for boys choosing that professions that are connected in technology with technology are only for boys because of stereotypes and mindset that we have. It is, for example, there was a situation in my personal life when I studied at educational center, and my teacher said to her colleague that she wants to enter to the Facebook and want to know what's going on there. That I saw when I heard that sentence, I thought that what was Facebook, right? And millions of questions were in my mind, and that after a year, I understood that it was social network because I wasn't able to connect to the network, or I wasn't connected with any social networks. Difficulties in terms of access to use of computers were in school times, since there were few specialists in this area. The computer were old or broken. For example, we couldn't use computers. The same situation is now still in some remote areas. That is why from this childhood, I wanted to positively impact to girls to going to our capital, Dushanbe, gaining new knowledge, and come back to my area and positively impact for girls in their for their development. That is why today, after graduating on university, I became a mentor in the Technology Park and Innovation Laboratory of UNICEF in Hujan City. And under my leadership, learned and still learning more than 300 girls information communication technologies. So if you want to, I want to share that there are a lot of tips and recommendation in order to be in the field of STEM. And practically, when I wanted to provide opportunities for girls to become in the field of STEM, and totally say, if you would say that they wanted to work remotely as a traditions or mentalities, they wasn't allowed to work physically in office. That is why we wanted to share them additional employment, like remote areas. When I checked the channels or websites that are providing internships, online work, like the LinkedIn. If you heard about this platform, it's a great resource or platform for finding internship in the field of STEM. You can use these sites such the search function to filter internships as you want at the company from your location, time, if you want to get internship. Also, Indeed, it's an amazing platform that provides you to find internships from your location based on your knowledge and skills that you have. By searching keywords, for example, criteria and location. Also, another one that I personally checked is Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a website that provides to search for internships and review current companies that's providing internship. Another my advice for girls or for that person who wants to develop
I think, Roxana, you have frozen, so perhaps you may want to switch off your video for bandwidth. Thank you.
Them in the Hello?
Roxana, maybe you can turn off your camera to save the internet, please.
I'm already turned on.
No.
Turn
Okay.
off. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My advice was for girls or that people who want to develop or ameliorate themselves in the field of STEM. First, taking risk, because taking risk will open that new opportunities for you. Don't be shy, don't be afraid to build yourself, your brand in this field. Also, build a network. Networks gives you more opportunity to work with international, for example, companies and join STEM companies that located far from your countries also. Find a STEM field or projects that you love. Also become, if you are sure in yourself that you can teach others, be a mentor. Become a mentor, it helps you to ameliorate yourselves more and more. That's also, I wanted to share for 5 tips for selecting right STEM internship. Once you have found a few, for example, internships based on your potential and skills, and the first thing that you have to do, it should be better that you do, consider your goals. What are you hoping to get from this internship or program? Do your research before going for some internship. You have, it should be better if you research this company, information and your, how to say, your, it is able for you, for example, to work there. Consider the location. Also, there are a lot of internships internationally or locally. This is why before going to the internship, you have consider your location also. The other tips is consider the competitions. Will you be, there's compensation also. Will you paid for this internship? Will you do it as a based on volunteering? And duration also. How long will you get your internship? Mostly it for 2 months or 3 months. Be considered that you have appropriate internship. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxana. Colleagues, please feel free. Now we are moving to Q&A session. So please feel free to raise your hand and ask any question related to tips and how to find a job in IT area. So our mentors and Mihaela and Roxana, they will be answering and providing some other tips. While you are thinking in the chat, we have some questions already. If you don't mind, I will read them out. We have a question from Sumbuloy. I think this is to both speakers. From Sumbuloy, how to move to IT without IT background? Please, Michaela or Roxana, can you take the question, please?
Yes, Absin, and thank you so much for the question. How to move to IT without an IT background? I think there are several ways to do that, actually, is to access professional courses, whether they are in your country or whether those are professional courses or certifications provided internationally. And here I could give my personal example. It also links a bit with the second question that the same person wrote in what positions in IT for non-IT staff. I think I could give the example of my project management experience in IT. And for example, I have a background in finance and banking, but then if I want to advance myself as a project manager in IT sector, then I follow the courses of the PMI Institute, the International Institute for Project Management, which provides an internationally renowned certification that allows you to work as a project manager in IT and not only. So you could have an academic background in any field that you have, but with the help of professional courses, you could access a profession and a job in IT. This would be an example in my own as well. And speaking about, or maybe Ruxana wants to complete on the first question too.
Please, Ruxana.
Thank you for your question. And how to move to IT without IT background. It's actually in my case also, because I didn't have my bachelor or my master degree in this field of IT. You can get your courses as Tatiana or Mikhaila mentioned that. Mentioned that you can get your certificate courses and to take part in some clubs, IT clubs, and that centers. There are a lot of Impact Hub, for example, courses that you can join and move to IT. If you have it only based on your desire, if you have passion about this sphere, you can join and you can develop. It's not so how to say, it's possible for everyone if you want. Your wishes is the most important thing in your developing. Thank you.
Thanks, Ruxana. Thanks, Mikhaila. I hope the question was answered. Another one we have saw from Sumbuloy. What positions in IT for non-IT staff? What you can recommend, or from experience, what you mentioned, that positions that are relevant in IT for non-IT staff? Thank you.
Ruxana, if you want to go first, otherwise we can.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, actually, it's also a very often met situation in Moldova. A lot of girls and women start their journey in ICT or STEM with jobs that are not specifically IT jobs. It is a way, not the only way to enter IT. If I have to give examples of, and these are also examples of former Girls Go IT participants here in Moldova who entered their IT careers with positions like Scrum Master or Agile Specialists. Scrum, Agile, the terms I'm using are all terms from project management. So those positions would be coordinating positions or workload coordination positions. So you would not enter as a developer or a tester, but you would enter IT sector in the position whereby you help coordinate IT teams to reach their goals. And this would be one example. Another, and actually I would be really curious to hear from you from what country you are, and if what I'm giving as examples from Moldova, if it is relevant for the country that you are coming from. But in Moldova, another quite popular choice for girls related to non-IT or not directly IT jobs is working in HR, whether as an IT recruiter, recruiting people to, especially technical people, to join ICT sector. And it's very interesting because once you get to work as an IT recruiter, you get to know a lot of very technical information. Later on, you might decide that, you know, why not? You yourself can take a more technical job, specifically IT job. So really, half of my answer is a back to you question to really hear what is the realities in your countries.
Thank you, Mikhaila. Ruxana, do you have anything to say? Or we can move. Let's move. We have a question. Okay. Okay, we have a question from Manjula Bani. She's interested in how to find the chemistry sectors, how to find STEM or IT in chemistry sector. Manjula, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. How can we share experience in chemistry? Do we have anyone who faced with this one?
To be honest,
chemistry.
I actually faced, yes, chemistry sectors in the field of IT or STEM. I have a student, she works as a, she studied chemistry and she wanted to work also in IT sphere. And because of that, she knew and she knows that better chemistry than me, for example. She worked with data, with formulas symbols that they have in the field of IT. For example, she entered the data, for example, data entry. That was a vacancy that she worked with data based on chemistry. She knew and she knows this sphere better. That is why we provide for this vacancy for especially for her, because she knew and she knows that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Roxana. Michaela, do you have anything to add, or
we can go? We can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. We have a question from Ariana. Dear Shiva, thank you very much for adding to question from Sumbuloy. We have a question from Ariana. What skills should a trainer or mentor have? And she's mentioning the soft skills. Please.
Ariana is one of the girls I welcomed from Moldova. She's a graduate of Girls Go IT project, and thank you for your question. I would say, first of all, that being, and it was also mentioned by our guest speakers today, first of all, being a trainer and mentor for others is a very great opportunity to discover yourself and to improve yourself, because it is one thing, and we were talking about this with our colleagues recently, is that it's one thing to know how to write a code, and it is a very different, more advanced thing to be able to teach another person to write a code, to see the results of their work. And I think a trainer and a mentor should have, apart from very good communication skills, should have patience, should be very true to themselves, and lead by their own example. I think the most inspiring thing that we see in ICT and STEM from the girls that have achieved in those sectors is that they lead and live through their own stories. Every speaker today, I heard that, and you heard that as well. Every speaker here has a story to share, and I think leading by example is one of the best things a trainer and mentor can do.
Thank you, Michaela. Roxana, can you jump in?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to add that, as Michaela said and mentioned, that every mentor or trainer, it would be better that if they have communication skills, right? Because it helps to communicate with each participant individually. Because each participant, they have special nature, for example, characteristic. For example, they want to also to attract also our audience, right? And leadership skills, it would be benefit for us, because we want to encourage, it should be better if we encourage others to become mentor or to build the network in this field of STEAM. Also, I think creative skills, it helps to innovation. It helps to get more information about that participant that wants to grow up in this field of STEM or IT. I think these skills are more necessary for each mentors or trainers. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxana. Colleagues, if you have any question, please use the chat box. While colleagues are typing the question, can I ask, please, from Roxana, maybe it's maybe more relevant to you, but also Michaela or any other colleagues. Let's say, what can you name? How can you name the best 3 or 5 like foundations or scholarships that are relevant for our region, for Eastern Europe and Central Asia? What can be your advice, practical advice, so that colleagues from these regions, they can apply with the high chances that are focused for our region? Thank you. Roxana, Michaela.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I will share because the participants want to get their internship, they want to get the scholarship, and there are a lot of excellent STEM internship or scholarship that they can get. For example, I have searched and I know that Google Summer of Code, they provide best internship in this sphere, also of Microsoft Imagine Cup, and also that I know that American Association for the Advancement Fellows programs that can get internship scholarship based on their location, based using the keyword, duration of this internship. Also, the National Science Foundation research experts that can help them to get internship. They also provide scholarship, and also they can apply by themselves.
Okay, and what are usually the duration of the scholarships or studies for STEM areas?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Sorry, what are usually, I mean, the duration of the studies for STEM?
You mean within the internship, or just
yes.
learning the STEM?
Learning maybe.
Learning, most of our students, they get for 6 months. It's a basic knowledge, basic skills that they can get in the sphere of STEM. And if they want to be more intermediate or upper intermediate levels in sphere of IT, it gets more year to learn. But that regarding to internships, they get for 6 or 3 months. Duration of the internships, 3 months to 6 months.
Thank you. Thank you, Roxana. Thank you, Michaela. Dear colleagues, please, now we have from Ariana. Question, another one, how can we apply, just a minute, how can we apply at internships in STEAM if we are not high school graduates yet or not having 18 years yet? Please.
It really depends on the country's context or realities. There are internships eligible for high school students, although below 18 years old, and usually this is something that is possible to do. And even in Moldova with the Girls Go IT program, we also work with, and maybe it's also an advice for girls from other countries, is to research the programs available, the non-formal education programs available in their countries for girls in ICT, because usually those programs partner with private ICT companies that provide shorter term internships, even 1 month internship for girls, and also because they are in high school, so it gives them more flexibility to join. Ruxana, I don't know what is the reality in your country.
Yes, if the girl or the person who wants to get internship or learn IT sphere before 18 years old, they go to the special course, non-private centers in our country. They get for example, if they study well, they get also scholarship. They will return their money after getting exam. And if someone of participant from Tajikistan, there are a lot of companies that provide the Tajrab, the center that an artificial center that provides opportunity not to get into not just providing to develop themselves in IT sphere, but also they provide such opportunities, providing them scholarship and also ilmkhona, and they provide learning like IT and graphic designs for girls especially. And if they are not 18 years old, they can join non-private centers that work in this sphere and develop themselves. Also, in our country, they get scholarship or they get internship in such companies after graduating their courses. For example, in Hona, they select those people who well graduate their courses, and they keep them like an intern in their company.
Thank you, Roxana. We have another question from Manjula Bani. How can we be involved in as many projects in science or scholarship opportunities, and how to join the STEM network? Do we have any tips?
Well, first of all, today's event is actually a great opportunity for everyone to make use of STEM for All newly launched platform in August. I don't know if you had enough time to access the platform, but the STEM for All provides opportunities from various countries within the network. So that's one way. I also heard mentioned today the program that is called Technovation Challenge. I really advise you to research, because although it's a US-based program, it is present in almost every country in Europe and Central Asia. So research for Technovation Challenge. It's also a great way to become part of a greater STEM network. And then also let me know what country you're from, because I think you should also research the existing hubs or programs specifically in your country, not necessarily international projects.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mihaela. Thank you, Roxana. Well, dear colleagues, if you have a last chance to ask any question, because in less than 40 seconds we'll be moving to a main room. So this is your last chance to ask any question or tips on how to be okay. 15 seconds.
Calm down.
Yes, but this STEM for All, I think it's a great platform to start with for networking around this STEM for All.